today we are going to learn how to divide polynomials using long division and synthetic division. I've been talking about this lesson for a while and now it is officially here. So for your warm-up today, I would like you to put your 4th grade brains on and I would like you to please go ahead and use long division to divide 2,345 divided by 8. If you forgot long division, just sit tight. I'll go through what you need to do in just a moment, but I want to see what you remember. So pause the video and go ahead and use long division to divide these two numbers together. And when you have an answer, please go ahead and restart the video. All right, so the steps for long division are the following. It goes dad, which is divide, mom, which is multiply, sister, which is subtract, brother, which is bring down, and rover, which is repeat or remain. So these are the 5 different steps for using long division. Whenever you're dividing 2,345 divided by 8, we're going to put 8 on the outside of a box and we're going to put 2,345 inside of the box. And we ask ourselves, can 8 go into 2 evenly? And the answer is no, 8 cannot go into 2 evenly. But 8 can go into 23. 8 can go into 23 2 whole times. So I'm going to put the 2 above the 3 and multiply. So 8 divided by 23 divided by 8 is 2 with some remaining. So I'm going to multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. Now I'm going to subtract 23 and 16. 23 minus 16 is 7. Now I'm going to bring down my next number, which is 4. And I'm going to repeat the process. 8 can go into 74 9 whole times. So I'm going to go 9 times 8, which is 72. And 74 minus 72 is 2. Now I'm going to bring down my final number, which is 5. And I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 8 go into 25 evenly? And that is a total of 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. And I'm going to subtract going straight down with a remainder of 1. This last number, since I have no other numbers to bring down, this last number represents my remainder. So this is how we're going to write our answer. Our answer is 293 plus 1 over 8, which we write that is 293 and 1/8. The top number right here is your remainder, and your bottom number is what we call the divisor. It's what we're dividing on the outside. And that's exactly what our answer is going to be, 293 and 1/8. And the reason why I wrote it with addition is because that's the way that we're going to write our remainders whenever we do whenever we divide polynomials using either long division or synthetic division. So our learning objective for today is very simple. I want you to be able to say I can divide polynomial expressions using long division and synthetic division. So we have 2 different approaches for today and a total of 6 examples. So we're going to use polynomial division in the exact same way as we did using long division of regular numbers. Just make sure that every exponent is included. So that means that you need to make sure that every degree is represented. If it is not represented, you will need to insert either a 0x, 0x squared, whatever is missing, you'll have to put in a placeholder of a 0 and then whatever variable. is missing. So make sure every degree is represented. And that is for both whatever you're dividing by and your divisor. So you want to make sure that all degrees are represented. So looking at my first polynomial, I have x cubed plus 3x squared minus 7. I am missing the x term because it goes 3, 2, 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite that as x cubed plus 3x squared plus 0x minus 7. And I'm going to divide that by, well, let's make sure that all of our degrees are represented here. 2, 1, 0. So that's going to be x squared minus x minus 2. Awesome. Just like we did up here where the 8 was on the outside, the x squared minus x minus 2 will be on the outside. So I'm going to write x squared minus x minus 2. That's going to be on the outside. And what's going to be on the inside is x cubed plus 3x squared plus 0x minus 7. I'm going to work with the first term. So we're always working with the first term, and that is x squared. And I'm going to ask myself, what times x squared equals x to the third power? So I'm just working with my first terms here. And I'm going to ask myself, what times x squared equals x to the third power? And that is x. So I'm going to put x just above the 0x term. So I'm lining up my like terms. And I'm going to multiply. X times x squared is x to the third power. These two terms should be exactly the same. Then I'm going to distribute x to all of the other terms. X times negative x is negative x squared. X times negative 2 is minus 2x. From here, we've already dealt with multiplication, so now we're on to sister, which is subtraction. So what subtraction means is that you're going to change all of your signs to their opposite. So that's what subtraction will do. We change all signs to their opposite. So now the x cubes will cancel out, which is exactly what you want. You want your first term to cancel out, and we're going to combine vertically. 3x squared plus x squared is 4x squared. 0 plus 2, that's plus 2x. Now we're going to bring down our next term, and that is minus 7, and we're going to repeat the process. So once again, we just work with our first term, which is x squared, and we're going to work with the new first term, which is 4x squared. And we're going to ask ourselves, what times x squared equals 4x squared? And that is going to be a positive 4. So I'm going to write plus 4, lining up my plus 4 with my constant term. So now I'm going to distribute and multiply 4 times every single term on the outside. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times negative x is minus 4x. And 4 times negative 2 is minus 8. Now to subtract, that means that we need to change all of our signs to their opposite. So that means I'm going to make 4x squared negative, the 4x positive, and the 8 positive. So all of my signs will be their opposite sign. It's like distributing a negative. The 4x squares cancel out, and I'm going to combine going straight down. So 2x plus 4x, that is 6x. And negative 7 plus 8, that is plus 1. There is nothing more for me to bring down, so therefore 6x plus 1 is my remainder. So my answer is going to be my number at the top, which is x plus 4, plus, just like I did over here where I added 1/8, I'm going to add 6x plus 1, that's my remainder, divided by my divisor, which is x squared minus x minus 2. And that is your answer. Let's go ahead and try another one. So for example number 2, we want to make sure that all of our degrees are represented. So I have a 4, 3, 1, 0. So I'm missing my 2 term. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2x to the 4th power plus x cubed plus 0x squared plus x minus 1. And I'm going to divide it by, let me verify that all of my terms over here are represented. 2, 1, 0. So 2, 1, 0 sounds right. So I'm just going to write x squared plus 2x minus 1. Now the x squared plus 2x minus 1 will go on the outside, and 2x to the 4th power plus x to the 3rd power plus 0x squared plus x minus 1 will go on the inside. I'm going to work with my first term and my first term. So the first term on the outside and the first term on the inside. And I'm going to ask myself, what times x squared will equal 2x to the 4th power? Well, I believe that I need to turn a 1 into a 2 and an x squared into an x to the 4th. So that's going to be 2x squared. I'm going to line up that 2x squared above my x squared term. And now I'm going to multiply 2x squared to every single term on the outside. So that is 2x squared times x squared. That is 2x to the 4th power. 2x squared times 2x, that is plus 4x to the 3rd power. So that's a positive 4x to the 3rd power. Then I'm going to multiply 2x squared times negative 1, and that is minus 2x squared. From here, I'm going to subtract going straight down, and that means that I change all of my signs to their opposite. And then combine going straight down. So 2x to the 4th power, that cancels out, and I have 1x cubed minus 4x cubed, which is minus 3x cubed. 0x squared plus 2x squared, that is plus 2x squared. And now I'm going to bring down my next term, which is plus x. You just bring down one term at a time, and now we're going to repeat the process. Once again, we're going to work with the x squared and the negative 3x cubed. This is now my new first term. And I'm going to ask myself, what times x squared equals negative 3x squared? Well, that's going to be a minus 3x. And I'm going to line that minus 3x up with my x term. And now I'm going to multiply negative 3x to every single term. So negative 3x times x squared, that is minus 3x cubed. I know I did it correctly if these two terms are the same. Negative 3x times positive 2x, that is minus 6x squared. And negative 3x times negative 1, that's a positive 3x. I am going to change all of my signs to their opposite. And now I'm going to combine going straight down. The 3x cubes cancel out. 2x squared plus 6x squared, that is 8x squared. X minus 3x, that's minus 2x. And now I'm going to bring down the minus 1 and repeat the process. My new first term is 8x squared, and I need to ask myself, what times x squared equals 8x squared? And that is an 8, so I'm going to write plus 8 just above my constant term. And I'm going to multiply 8 to every single term on the outside. 8 times x squared is 8x squared. 8 times 2, that's plus 16x. 8 times negative 1, that is minus 8. I'm going to change all of my signs to their opposite and combine going straight down. The 8x squares cancel out. Negative 2 plus negative 16, that is negative 18x. And 1 minus 8, negative 1 plus 8 is 7, so plus 7. There is nothing more for us to bring down, so this represents our remainder. So my answer is going to be 2x squared minus 3x plus 8 plus my remainder is negative 18x plus 7 all over my divisor, and that is x squared plus 2x minus 1. And that is your answer. I know your answers look crazy and confusing and complicated, but it is what it is. That's what our answer is. You're more than welcome to FOIL it out to prove that that's what our answer is. But the process is exactly the same as what you learned when you were in 4th grade. We're just taking it to a whole new level. Now, synthetic division is a really cool thing. What's really cool about it is that it's a lot less steps and a lot less work. The problem with synthetic division is that it only works if the number that you're dividing by is in the form of x minus k. So only will work if what you're using to divide, if your divisor is in the form of x minus k. If it's in any other form, quadratic, or you have a number next door to x, then you have to use long division. But if you're just dividing by, if you look at examples 3, 4, 5, and 6, if you skip ahead, notice that what we're dividing by is a binomial in that form of x minus k. Then you can use synthetic division. So we'll use the same format as synthetic substitution. But instead of focusing on the last number, that last number is we're going to be working with all of the numbers. But instead of focusing on only the last number, all of the numbers below the line are used. So we're going to be working with all of the numbers below the line because all of the numbers below the line have meaning. That's why I insisted that you use a consistent structure when we were doing synthetic substitution. Now the values below the line give us the coefficients of the quotient that will be 1 degree less than the dividend. So whatever our divisor is, whatever we're dividing by, we're going to use 1 degree less. So what I mean by that is in example 3, our answer is to the third power, or we start off with a third power. Our answer will be squared. In example 4 and 5 is the same thing. Our degree starts off being 3, so our answer will be an x squared. For number 6, we start off being to the x to the 5th power, so 1 less than 5 is 4. Our answer is going to start being in the 4th power. So that's something to keep in mind. The last thing is that the last number represents our remainder, and we will put that over our divisor. So here we go. The first thing that we want to do is make sure that all of our degrees are represented. We have a 2x cubed plus 9x squared plus 14x plus 5. That's 3, 2, 1, 0. Awesome. Every single degree is represented. Next, what we want to do is we want to identify what 0 would be produced from an x minus 3. What would our x-intercept be? And in this case, our x-intercept would have been x equals 3. So that's the number that's going to go inside of the little box. Then I'm going to identify all of my coefficients, which that's 2, 9, 14, and 5. And I'm going to draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. I'm going to bring down my first term, which is a 2, and I'm going to multiply 3 times 2, and that's going to give me 6. That result's going to go below 9. And I'm going to add going straight down. 9 plus 6 is 15. And I'm going to repeat the process. 3 times 15 is 45. Jeez Louise. 45. And I'm going to add going straight down. 14 plus 45, that's equal to 59. And I'm now going to multiply 3 times 59. 3 times 59 is 177. And 5 plus 177 is 182. So just like I said to you before, we're going to work with every single number underneath. And what's going to happen is we're going to reduce our x cubed by 1 degree. So what that means is that 2 is going to be the coefficient of x squared. 15 is going to be the coefficient of x. 59 is going to be our constant. And 182 is going to be our remainder that we're going to be putting over our divisor. So our answer is going to be 2x squared plus 15x plus 59 plus 182 divided by x minus 3. And that is your answer. Let's try another one. So looking at example number 4, we need to make sure that all of our degrees are represented. I have 3, 2, 1, 0. Which is awesome, and we're dividing by something that is in the form of x minus k. So the first thing I want to do is I want to figure out what x-intercept would be produced by x plus 2. And it's always the opposite of what you see, and that's a negative 2. So that's what's going to go inside of the box. Now I'm going to write out all of my coefficients, which is 1, -1, 4, and -10. I'm going to put a vertical line going through my last two numbers and a horizontal line going straight across. I'm going to bring down my first term, which is 1, and multiply -2 times 1. That's going to be equal to -2, and now I'm going to add going straight down. -1 minus 2, that's -3. I'm going to repeat the process. -2 times -3 is 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. -2 times 10 is -20, and -20 plus -10 is -30. So 1 is going to be in my x squared position. I'm just taking my degree and subtracting 1. 3 is going to be in the x position. 10 is my constant, and -30 is my remainder. So my answer is going to be x squared minus 3x plus 10 plus -30 over my divisor, which is x plus 2. And that is your answer. Ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and pause the video and try examples number 5 and 6 on your own. Let's see how well you can do synthetic division. When you have an answer, go ahead and restart the video and we'll see how well you did. All right, let's go ahead and check your answer. I'm going to look at example number 5. Let me make sure that it's clear for you. Here we go. The first thing that we have in this problem is x plus 3. We're going to be using x is equal to -3. And I need to make sure that every degree is represented. I have a 3, 2, 1, 0, so we're good to go. And I'm going to put -3 inside of the little box. And I'm going to write 1, 4, -1, and -1. Putting a vertical line in between -1 and -1. And a horizontal line going straight across. So I'm going to bring down the 1. -3 times 1 is -3, and I'm going to add going straight down. 4 minus 3 is 1. -3 times 1 is -3. -1 minus 3 is -4. -3 times -4 is 12, and 1 minus 12 is 11. My degree started off being x cubed, so my answer is going to be x squared plus x minus 4 plus 11 over x plus 3. And that is your answer. So this is my x squared term, my x term, my constant, and my remainder. Let's go ahead and look at example number 6, and then we are finished for today. So for example number 6, I need to make sure every degree is represented. I have a 5, 3, 1, 0, so I'm missing a couple terms. So I have to have x to the 5th power plus 0x to the 4th power minus 10x cubed plus 0x squared plus 5x minus 1. And I'm going to be working with an x equals 4. So I'm going to put 4 inside of the little box, and I'm going to write 1, 0, -10, 0, 5, -1. I'm going to bring down the 1, and 4 times 1 is 4, and I'm going to add going straight down. 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, -10 plus 16 is 6. 4 times 6 is 24. 0 plus 24 is 24. 4 times 24 is 96. 5 plus 96 is 101. 4 times 101 is 404. -1 plus 404 is 403. So our answer is, well, this is a degree 1 less than what we started with. So that's going to be an x to the 4th, an x to the 3rd, an x squared, an x, a constant, and my remainder. So my answer is x to the 4th plus 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 24x plus 10 plus 403 divided by x minus 4. And that is my answer, as well as the end of this video. If you have any questions over synthetic division or long division, please make sure that you see me or email me as soon as possible. Otherwise, I will talk to you next time.